Hey, Honest. Happy christening day from one crab fisherman to another. Uh, Even though my dad's a Unitarian minister, I don't really know what to say at a Danish christening. In the last century, my parents had a party with church people in Chicago. And your mom showed up and started talking about what a horrible disease AIDS is. Everybody agreed with her, and then she added that because the disease is so horrible, she had stopped engaging in casual sex. It was a striking thing for the minister's daughter-in-law to say, and people remembered it for years to come. She made quite an impression. Following her lead, I'm guessing that I need to talk about venereal disease at your christening, right? We'll get to that. Your mom also said I'm supposed to give you advice, and I think you're smart enough to put whatever I say into the context, which is to say that this is the rantings of a balding white American in the last days of his empire as it swirls the toilet bowl. My first christening advice to you is about religion. I think you can judge religion by how it treats its women, and that same test applies to you and to me. We're only as good as that we treat the people around us. Like those Chicago church people who met your mother years ago in the 1900s, I don't know you well. We spent a few memorable hours crab fishing in the Jutland. Even then, back then, you were becoming one of those annoying Danes who speaks better English than we do. I'm afraid that the documentary that we made about crab fishing in the Baltics may have gotten you interested in the dying profession of journalism. If you do pursue that career, my second piece of advice is this. The late great American journalist Izzy Stone said that the first rule of journalism is that governments lie. Once you understand that, you see things that other people miss. Ancient artifacts reveal that governments have always lied to manipulate the truth. Unlike Trump, I think most of them probably were aware of the fact that they were lying. Getting back to English, women, crabs, and venereal disease, have you learned that the English word crabs also means venereal lice that make your crotch itch? Your mother's right, there's a lot of bad stuff going around, and my advice number 3 is you should always use condoms. Take care of your whole body, because you'll probably carry all of your original parts around until you become me, an old fart with far too many miles on them. Speaking of crabs and body parts, did you know that crabs can regenerate lost limbs? If we mastered Darwinian evolution, we could too. How did I happen to become selected to retrieve your mother from Mexico after she lost her arm? That's a question I need to answer. The first candidate for the job was your mom's so-called friend who had joined her on a tropical vacation in Mexico. Apparently, she was one of those very special people who would not let a friend's dismemberment get between her and a good suntan. She was utterly useless. Advice number 4 on us: pick your friends better than that. Another obvious job candidate to get your mom was her first husband, also known as my brother. At that time, he was working on some computer assignment in one of those little European countries that no longer exists. At that time, I think Yugoslavia had 2 computers. One of them was used by the Muslims to find the optimal way to kill Christians, and the other one was used by Christians to optimize their killings of Muslims. I don't know which side Mark was on, but nobody won that war. Advice number 5: don't use your talents to kill people. Through the process of elimination, it fell to the little brother-in-law studying Latin American studies here in Texas to go get your mom. I think the Danish people thought that Austin is a short horse ride away from the Yucatan Peninsula. In any case, I caught the first flight to Cancun and found your mother lying in a clinic. The clinic was reasonably clean, but lacked certain modern technologies such as window screens. And there was a cloud of flies circling over her, apparently having zeroed in on her because she had just one swatting arm left. Your government arranged for a jet ambulance to shuttle your mother back to Minnesota, where she was living at the time. But the distances over here are large, and the plane had to stop in New Orleans to refuel. Your mom was furious at me because the crew had ordered Cajun food, and I had the audacity to eat it while she lay there next to me. Part of what fueled her rage was that scrumptious meal featured a delicious étouffée made out of crawfish, which are yet another shellfish that can regenerate lost limbs. Advice number 5 is to eat the Cajun food when it comes your way. Otherwise, you won't have the strength to take care of your mom. Although your mother will never forgive me for that Last Supper, we Wheats still love the Pingles, including you. So my parting advice is to come visit us, preferably before Trump destroys the world. Happy Christening Day, crab fishermen.